Before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Jets fans, buckle up, because if yesterday was any indication of what's coming this season, we're in for a ride. The New York Jets didn't just beat the Green Bay Packers. They dominated them in every facet of the game. Final score, 30-10. But the numbers alone don't tell the full story. This was a tone-setting performance, the kind of game that makes the rest of the league sit up and take notice. From the moment Aaron Glenn walked out onto the field for his first game as Jets head coach, there was an energy that felt different. The sideline had a spark, a swagger that's been missing for far too long. Glenn wasn't just there to watch. He was in the fight. Cameras caught him tearing into a player after a foolish late-hit penalty. No yelling for show, no empty threats. This was a coach laying down the law, setting a standard, and making it crystal clear that sloppy football won't fly in New York anymore. It's not just the intensity, though. Glenn has been building this from day one, from the combine to rookie minicamp, from Otis to training camp. And now, in his very first preseason game, we saw the payoff. Offense? Sharp. Defense? Smothering. Special teams? Disciplined and effective. It all started with the man in charge. And speaking of sharp, welcome back, Sauce Gardner. The first-team defense wasted no time making a statement. On the first Packers series, Sauce broke up a pass on the opening snap, shut down a run on second down, and batted away another pass on third and short. 3 plays. 3 impact moments. 3 reasons why he's the highest-paid corner in league history. This wasn't just technique, this was swagger. The kind of swagger that says, "Try me. I dare you." If anyone thought Sauce might be feeling pressure from the off-season chatter, talk about other corners, questions about his place in the top tier, yesterday was the perfect answer. He played with confidence, attitude, and that trademark chip on his shoulder. And the Jets fed off it. On the other side of the ball, quarterback Justin Fields looked composed and in control. His stat line, 3 of 4 for 48 yards passing, plus 2 rushes for 14 yards and a highlight reel touchdown, tells part of the story. The bigger takeaway? His poise. No jittery footwork, no panic in the pocket. Even when pressure came, Fields stepped up, used his legs when needed, and made the right reads. That touchdown run was classic Fields, reading the defense, slipping out of trouble, and exploding into the end zone. Of course, none of that happens without the offensive line, and the Jets' big men came to play. Facing Green Bay's starters, they gave Fields a clean pocket on nearly every throw and opened wide lanes in the run game. On the touchdown scramble, rookie running back Isaiah Davis even pulled off a veteran move, selling the route with his hands to freeze a defender, giving Fields the space to break free. It wasn't just the stars either. This game showcased depth. Veteran fullback Andrew Beck, yes, the fullback, led the team in receiving yards, lining up in multiple spots, making key catches, and delivering crushing blocks. His versatility was a perfect fit for Glenn's old school, physical brand of football. And defensively, Jay Tufele made a name for himself. Playing next to All-Pro Quinnen Williams, Tufele was a constant presence, picking up a fumble for a touchdown, recording 1.5 sacks, and hitting the quarterback twice. His motor never stopped, and when you add in Will McDonald's lightning-quick spin move off the edge, you start to see how disruptive this defensive front could be. Let's move on to the new news. This wasn't just a game for the stars, it was a showcase for players fighting for bigger roles. And one name to circle is Tyler Johnson, the wide receiver quietly put together one of the most efficient performances of the night. When the Jets rolled out 3 wide sets, it wasn't Allen Lazard lining up with Garrett Wilson and Josh Reynolds, it was Johnson. That's no accident. Johnson's crisp route running and reliable hands have caught the attention of the coaching staff, and if this keeps up, we could see a real battle for that WR3 spot. And let's not forget about the run game. Rookie Braylon Allen, at just 21 years old, looked like a freight train with a turbo engine. He ran with power, lowered his shoulder into defenders, and even knocked one Packers safety out of the game after a brutal collision. Paired with Breece Hall, Allen gives the Jets a 1-2 punch reminiscent of the Lions' Montgomery and Gibbs. Glenn and offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand clearly planned to lean on the run, just like Detroit did, and with the way this offensive line looked, it could be a formula for success. Speaking of the O-line, rookies and veterans alike impressed. Guard Elijah Vera Tucker looked like his old self, and rookie tackle Max Mitchell held his ground against Green Bay's pass rush. When you add in 0 pressures allowed by rookie center Joe Tippmann, you start to see why the Jets coaches believe this line can go from one of the league's worst rushing units to a top 10 force. Defensively, Tufele wasn't the only standout. Lawrence Taylor, no, not that Lawrence Taylor, but defensive tackle Taylor Lawrence, came up big with a strip sack in the end zone. Plays like that show the Jets have depth in the trenches, something they'll need for the long grind of the season. And while most of the night was positive, there were a few players who didn't help their case. Rookie receiver Malachi Corley played just 15 snaps and failed to make an impact. With the top 5 receiver spots likely locked up, Corley is fighting Xavier Gibson for the final roster spot, and right now, that battle is far from decided. Tight end Jeremy Ruckert also had a rough outing. Drops and penalties have plagued his camp, and with rookie Mason Taylor recovering from an ankle injury, this was Ruckert's chance to shine. Instead, he looked tentative and out of sync. He'll likely make the team, thanks in part to his connection with Fields from their Ohio State days, but he's sliding down the depth chart. Still, the overall tone was overwhelmingly positive. From starters to backups, the Jets looked prepared, physical, and united. And that comes back to coaching. Glenn has brought a toughness and accountability that's already paying dividends. If preseason games are about more than the score, about building identity, setting expectations, and testing depth, then the Jets passed with flying colors. Think about the matchups: Jets starters versus Packers starters. First-team defense versus Green Bay's first-team offense. First-team offense versus Green Bay starters on defense. And in nearly every case, the Jets won the battle. That's not just encouraging, it's the kind of performance that fuels belief inside the locker room. Aaron Glenn's vision is taking shape. This team will be physical at the line of scrimmage. They will run the ball with authority. They will make you earn every yard on defense. And above all, they will hold each other accountable. That's a recipe for sustainable success in the NFL. The stars are doing their part, Fields showing poise and playmaking ability, Sauce Gardner locking down the outside, Quinnen Williams anchoring the middle. But it's the rise of players like Tufele, Johnson, Beck, and Allen that could elevate the Jets from dangerous to legit contender. The road ahead is long, and there will be bigger tests than a preseason matchup with the Packers. But for a franchise hungry for relevance, this was the kind of start that makes you believe. Jets fans, if this is the standard, we might just be watching the start of something special.